How do you craft a podcast script that gets listeners hooked from the very beginning? You bought the equipment, you set up your studio, and then you're starting to record episodes. So you have no idea what you're doing, or maybe you're kind of lost in the whole process of getting your listeners engaged, getting them to return and keep listening to your show. Well, in this episode of YourWay, I'm going to be showing you my favorite structure that I use when I script episodes for my podcast. And I'm going to be doing that using my squishies. But these squishies, they're pretty cute. Before we move on, just make sure that you subscribe and that you also go to podcastyourway.com so you can catch us live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Let me illustrate this. Every time you start an episode and you ramble and you're not clear about what you're going to say, and maybe you just start talking about random things, you lose listeners. We are competing for people's attentions. It's just not a secret anymore that there's a lot of creators with very incredible shows out there that have this formula down to a T, and that's why they're able to grow their audience. Because one thing that you can do right now that will fix any problems that you may have growing your show is to have a structure in every single one of your episodes. When you script your episodes, when you put together an outline. So as an illustration, we are going to dump these squishies here. And this is our intro swamp. Oh, and I'm losing some of them. Oh, and don't you just love squishies? Like, they're just so fun, they're squishy and fun. So this is your audience. Your audience may be on YouTube, on Spotify, and they're here looking for a show. But every time you come up with a new episode and you are all over the place, this is where they go. They're lost. They click away and they just go and find another show. And this is what we want to avoid. We want to avoid our listeners to end up here in the bad intro swamp. But we have here our listener. I purposely just chose one squishy because I want you to think about your audience as just one person, just one listener. Because when we do that, when we are recording, when we are creating our content, then it helps us to just craft that perfect episode for just one person instead of thinking that we are just creating episodes for hundreds of people. It's just that one person. It just makes it easy because now you're just having this conversation one-on-one instead of just talking to an audience of hundreds. And then we want to take our listener all the way from being confused, doesn't know what she wants, needs help, they're going through a struggle, they found your podcast and they're getting pumped. They're like, okay, this is the show that I've been looking for. Let's just listen to an episode. That's what we want to do with our listener, just to take that person all the way from confused to be ready to act, very excited to be part of our community, very excited to come back next week and listen to the next episode. But in the meantime, we're just gonna put him right here. That is our listener journey. Now, let's look at the formula. We are going to start with the hook. The hook is the most important part of your episode. Just think about it. If you plan an episode that is full of very useful information that you know your audience needs, but then you start talking about things that are confusing, you're not very clear as to what the episode is going to offer, then you're going to lose your listeners and that person is going to walk away without the information that you worked so hard to put together, with the information that they really need. So what do we do? What's a hook? A hook is very brief, just a few sentences of you saying what the episode is going to be about. It can be a question, it can be a problem, It can be, something like straightforward as saying, well, in this episode, we're going to cover this. From the very beginning, you established what the episode is going to be about. This is going to tell the listener, oh, okay, yeah, I am interested in that. I'm ready to dive deeper into this episode, and I don't have to click away because it's clear from the very beginning what I'm here for and what this episode will be delivering. Then we'll go into our show ID. And then our show ID, once again, very briefly, you don't need to have a whole paragraph of you explaining what your show is about, or who you are and your experience. Very short, because we want to get this listener from here where they start listening all the way to here, but it needs to happen fast. If you get them with the hook and then you spend a whole minute explaining what the show is about and your experience, then at that point, they start getting a little anxious, or they may click away and be like, okay, this is taking too long. I just need the information. And have in mind that every single episode, you're not delivering this to people that already know you, your friends, your family, people maybe in your circles that they have the patience to sit down with you and hear you and watch you rambling about a topic. This are people who are brand new to your show, and the fastest you get them from the very beginning of the episode to give them the information, like the more effective your episode is going to be. Welcome to Yap Your Way. That's my show. This episode is for podcast creators. Let's get started. Just very simple, a few sentences. And then we get into the story. And this is the part that I really love about being a content creator, about being a podcast creator, is that you will be connecting with your audience through stories. Like, I am a total sucker for stories. And when I listen to a podcast, that's where I'm listening. That's what I use to connect with the host. That's what I use as a reference. That's what gets me emotional as well, because this is not just a bunch of steps that you want your audience to follow just because. You are going to take them through an emotional journey, and part of the emotional journey is for you to share stories in your show. And that's the beauty of podcasting, is like how we can connect and share stories with people who start with being complete randos. I don't want to call them ramdos. That's a bad word. People that don't know you, all the way to like, okay, I feel like I know Veronica. I feel like I connect with her. I'm there too. I'm going through the same struggle. So on each episode, I'll challenge you to add a story. It can be a personal story. It can be a story from somebody you know. It can be a story from a client. And after you do that, then the story is not just, oh, and I went to the grocery store and that was it. We need to introduce a challenge. Like, what is the problem that our listener is going through right now? And I'm going to test this structure with an example at the end of this presentation, but just a few examples of the challenge. So let's say that, that the story is like, I went to the grocery store. On a Monday morning, I went to the grocery store, and then we stopped the story there. That is not really engaging. Is not really telling me much. But if I say, okay, I went to the store on a Monday morning because I needed to prepare a full meal for my entire family who was coming from Colombia. So all of a sudden, I have the story and I have the challenge. I was there and I didn't know how I was going to tackle this challenge. That's how you introduce. This is where you introduce the problem that they're going through, the struggle, the need answers for is right here in the challenge. And then after the challenge, it depends of what your show is about, comes the resolution. And the resolution is, how are you going to help them overcome these challenges? How are you going to help them overcome the problem? And for this, you may have, your expertise and and the things that you cover during your show. Maybe your show is educational, maybe you're a dietitian or you're a personal trainer. And then right here is where you're going to introduce 3 or 4 points, and you're going to tell them how they can overcome this problem that they're facing, and they get to walk away with some actionable steps, actionable tips that they can use to apply it in their lives. Never stop the episode. Never stop the episode just as the challenge, as the problem, and then send your audience away, because then you're just gonna send them away with more stress and more problems, and not really a resolution, not anything that they can use to not be in the situation that they were in. So this is also a very important part of your script. The final part of the episode, which is where you send them with a few CTAs, tell them to come back the next week, to subscribe to your channel, to make sure that they're part of the community. Also, you can send them away with a little challenge, any type of thing that you can come up with that you know that will help your listener in that moment will be very valuable, and they'll remember that they got that tip, that thing that they didn't know that it was going to fix a problem. So that is the close of the episode. That is me, and this is my episode formula. Martita is very happy about it. So let's just do some examples just for fun, because I think I love examples. That's how I learned. Let's get the rhino, Rita the rhino. So Rita the rhino is here, and she's confused. She doesn't know what to do because she's been gaining weight, and she's in her 40s. And no matter what she does, no matter what kind of food she eats, no matter the diet that she follows, the exercise routine that she applies, she's not losing weight. She's chunky. So how do we structure this episode so we can get Rita the rhino to listen to the entire thing and to become one of our loyal listeners? So how would I start that? So my hook would be, and this episode, let's say that this episode is about, like, how do you lose weight in your 40s? And she she's scrolling through YouTube, and she sees the title and the thumbnail and clicks on it because, yes, okay, that's what I need to know. I need to know how to lose weight because I'm in my 40s. She clicks on it. And then the first thing that I said, you are struggling to lose weight. You're in your 40s, you're struggling to lose weight. Your diet plan and your exercise routine, they're not working anymore. And instead of losing, you're gaining weight. What do you do? Well, in this episode, I'm going to show you very simple things that you can do to your lifestyle right now that can help you lose weight in your 40s. Oh, welcome to the fun part of life. This is a show for women in their 40s who are making big life changes. I'm Veronica, and let's get started. I was at the mall the other day, and I wanted to buy some jeans for me and my daughter. And we went to the store, and I looked for the same size that I've been wearing for years. And I went inside the dressing room, I put them on, and they didn't button. I've been gaining weight. I don't know why. I have the same exercise routine. I am eating the same things, and I'm gaining weight. So I just started to get very desperate. Like, what do I do? How do I solve this problem? And you may be in the same boat as me. So now we move on to the challenge. You are stuck in the same weight, or maybe you are losing weight. Your hormones are out of whack. So what do you do? Well, first, just know that your body is going through different hormonal changes that we moved on to the resolution, going through different hormonal changes, and you're going to eat less sugar. You're going to introduce more weightlifting. And then I just walk them through, a few more steps for them to take. And then, hey, I would love to see you here every week. I release episodes on Wednesdays. Make sure that you subscribe to the show. Share this episode with another friend who is going through the same struggles. I will see you, on the next episode. So that's an example that we can use this strategy, use this structure to apply to our intro and to our entire episode. And I have some final tips here for you. The first one is to make it relatable. Relatable is what is winning right now with all of this AI slop that we get fed every single time we log into our social media. And, all of I haven't even explored the AI podcasts that are out there, but what makes it relatable is for you to be you, for you to be human, for you to share your stories, for you to not expect perfection from you, but just to show up as a human, and then make it very simple, not complicated stuff that people won't be able to follow. Maybe in your day to day, if you consume content, you know that the more simple you keep it, creators are out there just sharing whatever they're going through or their lives, and it seems like it's just not very elaborate. It's coming from a very honest place. That's what we want. We want to keep it human. We want to connect with other people. I know that it can be hard for you when you're recording alone in your studio or in your office and you're just talking to a piece of equipment. The sooner you get into the mindset that you are talking to real people, that you have a real human listening to you and watching you, then the more you'll get loose and the more you get into your personality, which is what people want to see in you, what they're craving is to get to know you as you are. And then action oriented is that at the end of the episode that you will have them do something. Don't have them be passive consumers of your content. At the end of their journey with you on that episode, just make sure that you have a list of things that they have to do. And also, how they can support the show by subscribing, by sharing the episode with family or friends. I can guarantee you, if you use this formula, that you will see some numbers, that you will see things change when it comes to you growing your audience and getting people to listen to the entire episode, and also getting people to come back, which is what we want. That's the main goal. We don't want this little guy. Where did he go? Oh. We don't want this little guy to come here maybe to listen to one episode. We're like, I didn't like it. I'm just going to go back to the swamp because I really didn't like this episode. No, we want him to come here and to fall in love and be like, hey dude, yeah, come and listen to this show. It's really cool. Oh yeah. And then, hey, come on over. And then all of a sudden you just have, all of these listeners here and they're like, woo, yeah. We love this show. We love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with me. I've tried to make things fun and illustrate. I go live every Wednesday from our own platform, Podcast YourWay. I also go live on YouTube. But if you want to interact with me, if you want to ask me questions about your show, anything that you are struggling with, you will have to do it inside Podcast YourWay. So go to podcastyourway.com. You can sign up completely free. You can attend the live streams for free and come and hang out with me. We'll play with squishies. We plan your show. I'll give you the advice that you need to get you started. I'm very excited for you because you are in this journey of starting your own show. I hope it doesn't stop with just being a thought. I hope you put an action list that you will tackle. The number one thing of that action list should be with Veronica in her live stream on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be here. I can't wait to listen to all of the ideas that you have for your show. And I will see you here next Wednesday. I'm going to be here. Are you going to be here? I hope you will.